Welcome into the Divas Dish. That is the vlogcast that I do. So, Zach, you are an honorary diva today. So, I don't know if the coonskin cap is a diva, but you can claim it for yourself today.
Perfect. And actually, it's not a coonskin. It is a fox, like the man who wears it. Yes.
I love that. A redheaded devil. Imagine that. Perfect. So I am speaking with Zack Ward, and I know you know his face, and I know you know his voice. If you listen closely, you all grew up watching A Christmas Story, and you are the villain of A Christmas Story, but I don't want to give it away because the new one, if people have not watched it, I'm shocked. I was ready to watch it as soon as it hit streaming. I was so impressed with the way that everything was done because it did not take away from the old story. It brought the warm fuzzies back. And there's a sense of redemption for your character, for Scott. He grows up, and I cried at the end. That was so sweet. And I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. Tell us what it meant to be a part, or what it means to you to be part of 30 plus years of everyone knowing these lines. Do people still come up on the street and like just ask you about your yellow eyes and try to pick fights with you because you know you're such a bully?
They used to try to pick fights with me, and they actually did start a lot of fights with me back in my mid-20s. There was a period there where I was guest starring on a lot of different TV shows, what I call the douchebag du jour. So that's typically whatever TV show has got the heroes, and then they have to fight the bad guy of the episode, and I would be that bad guy. I have a very punchable face, so I would always be playing the bad guy, and wherever I went, people would not recognize me as an actor. They would recognize me as someone they didn't like, but they would not know why. So they would get into it with me. They say things like, "You dated my sister in high school." I'm like, "I don't think so." You owe me money. Different things. I'm like, these are people I've never met before in my life. So there was a period of my life where people were starting fights with me on a relatively regular basis. That's past now, thankfully. Yeah. And now
you're all grown up. Good.
I'm all grown up, and also I'm recognizable as that guy, you know, the one from The Thing. Remember? So they don't think I'm some random criminal. But yeah, allegedly, never convicted, never.
Can't prove a thing. This interview never happened.
But yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I'm 53 years old, and I did this movie when I was 13, and now I've spent basically it's been almost 40 years. So the last 20 years, people they kind of treat me like Norm from Cheers, where they see me and smile and then want to buy me a drink and give me a hug. And we've never met before. And it's kind of amazing. It's like having a superpower for about 3 weeks out of the year.
That's a good thing, though. Most people don't complain. Oh, I don't want anybody to buy me a drink. Oh, no. Strangers hugging me.
It is great. I am not complaining. I'm like, look, I'm not Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. Those guys are massive icons. They can't go anywhere. I can walk the streets and do what I want, and every once in a while someone turns and goes, "Hey!" And it's very nice to me. So I'll take it.
Now let me ask you this, because I was trolling your page earlier, looking through, not trolling. However, there's a confusion. There's a difference in that. I need to be specific.
You were going through my IMDb or my resume, yeah?
Actually, yes. No, I was actually looking at your fan page on Facebook. What's this about Conan O'Brien getting confused for you?
Oh, I don't know. Every year they put out something. I guess all us redheads look alike. So whatever famous redheads, it's either Conan O'Brien or Danny Bonaducci or Richie Cunningham, you know.
Well, let me ask you about when you were originally cast. How did the casting go when you were a kid? Your mom came to you and said, "Hey, we're going to do this," because I know your mom was in voice acting.
My mom was a theater and film actress. Her name is Pam. Okay, sorry. She's 87 years old. She does do a lot of voice acting as well. She was a Noble Heart Horse for the Care Bears, and she's done a bunch of animation, but she's 87 now. Not a ton of great roles for 87-year-old women. But I grew up following my mom around the country in Canada and the United States as she went from job to job acting. Mm-hmm. I had asked to become an actor. Something I wanted to do, and she did not want me to do it. And then when I was 10 years old in Toronto, I started auditioning for commercials. My first commercial was, I think it was Jell-O or Dolly Madison ice cream. They're right at the same time period. You can find them on YouTube, and I was adorable. I don't mean to brag, but 10-year-old Zack with a little button nose and big eyes and little round cheeks, like
scooping up the pudding or the ice cream.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh!
I wish I had that face. I would love to have that face. So then, A Christmas Story was the first feature film I ever auditioned for, and it was a cattle call audition, meaning that hundreds of kids were there. We walked in. It was recorded on tape, VHS tape, a brand new technology at the time, and my lines were. Get over here. Nah, you're Aunt Tilly. Yeah, you. And so that was all I said. And then it went from hundreds of kids down to tens of kids down to 10 kids and then me. And then I got the job and I went into wardrobe weeks later and tried on the wardrobe and got in the hat, the original hat. And, met Yano Anaya, who plays Grover Dill. And then we walked on set and Bob Clark, the director, met me in person for the first time and saw that I was basically about 8 inches taller than Yano. And so he said, oh, you get his lines, he gets yours. And so Scott Farkas became the lead bully and Yano Anaya, Grover Dill, became the toady. And that was the process.
Love it. I love it. I heard that story. I just want to get it straight from you because I think it's one of those Hollywood things. It's kind of like, well, you know what? You fit this look better. So here you go. And here's your whole history laid out in front of you. So I love that. Let's talk about when they came to you and said, okay, we're going to do this and we want you back for this.
Yeah, that was the film had been in the works for about 4 years. Peter Billingsley had been on board and had been massaging and working through the process. And then Nick Schenk was brought on board to write. Nick Schenk wrote Gran Torino and The Mule for Clint Eastwood. Nick Schenk I think he's from Minnesota or Wisconsin, but he's got a very Americana, Ernest Hemingway type of tone to him, which blends very well for the Gene Shepard universe. And his writing worked fantastically. And then Clay Cadis was brought on as director, and Peter was starring as well as producing. And then Legendary Pictures came on board. They were developing the project with Warner Brothers and HBO. I mean, it takes a lot of people to make a movie. And I was brought into the conversation, I would say it would be 2020. I first started talking to them. And then it really started kicking into high gear near the end of 2021. And then we shot it in the beginning of 2022, and it's already out.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful story. I love it. I think it is definitely canon, and it is exactly what we needed after everything that we've been through for the past 2 years.
Yeah. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of strength to it. I'm very proud of the film. I like the messaging that they gave in it without giving any messaging.
Exactly. Without preaching, without beating people over the head, or without rehashing the old jokes.
No, I mean, there's enough sweet, silly, funny comedy for children to enjoy and just to be taken on the base level for fun. Enjoy that. But then there's also another layer, which continues the heroic journey of Ralphie from the original film. You know, the first movie is not about a kid getting a Red Ryder BB gun. It's about a young boy's coming of age and slowly becoming a man, which culminates at the end of the film when Darren McGavin, the old man, says, "What's that behind the tree?" And he finds a Red Ryder BB gun. And Melinda Dillon says, "Oh, we can't have that." And Darren McGavin says, "No, I had one when I was his age." And it's that statement. He's not a baby anymore. He's
exactly.
That's what the movie's actually about. His disillusionment with Little Orphan Annie. It's a crummy commercial. Son of a bitch, right? Him standing up for himself. Him
saying, "Oh, fudge."
Yeah, but the idea that he's stepping into the shoes of becoming a teenager, a grown-up. And that's really what the film is about. That's why the film almost 40 years later is still so dang good because there's no flying reindeers, there's no magical visual effects, but the magic in it is the imagination of a little boy and the fact that the family comes together when everything goes wrong. Their food is stolen off the table. They still come together and have the best Christmas ever because they're together. And I grew up broke as a joke. And you don't expect anything for Christmas. The fact that no joke, the fact that you're eating, that's on the win side. And I think that's what people can relate, as opposed to these films where if you wish upon a star, you'll get all the presents in the world and all your dreams will come true and the bills will get paid and dad's buff and mom's gorgeous and you get straight A's and everything works out. No, that is just a lie. And that's what I love about A Christmas Story is life is tough and you stick your chin out and you support the people you love. And that story was continued in A Christmas Story Christmas in a much more mature way, which I'm sure you're aware of, that children will not really grasp at all, which is great. But as they grow up, if you're watching it with your kids, they'll laugh and they'll think it's fun. And then in about 5 years from now, they'll get another level. And you as an adult, as a parent, as someone who's had parents that have passed, you know what this is about. And that's the next step for Ralphie is stepping into the shoes of his father and becoming the patriarch of his family. For me, my father is dying, and he has Alzheimer's. And that has been my process is to become the patriarch of my family, to be there for my brother and my sister and try to be the rock that he was. So,
and carry on the tradition. I get it totally. We lost my dad last November, so it's hard going through the seasons and seeing really this and taking over.
And that's the thing about Christmas. You like it or hate it, but it comes every year, and it reminds you what's here and what's not, and how much time you have left. Do you have more Christmases behind you than you have ahead of you? Yeah. Sounds depressing, but the fact of the matter is that's life, and you're either gonna stand up and enjoy the moments you have, or you're going to sit down and pour yourself into a bottle and complain. And I'm just, that's the choice of being an adult is you're there for the people you love. And that's
I love your takeaway. I love your takeaway. So let's talk more about this. You mentioned your father. And first of all, I'm very sorry for everything that you're going through because I know it's a tough road because I've been affected in my family with people with Alzheimer's and dementia. So and we do a lot of work with our station with a walk to end Alzheimer's. And I spoke with our reps here and they told us about this wonderful article that you were featured in just a while back with their organization and talking about your father, but you're going to be at the actual A Christmas Story house.
Yeah. So there's a lot to cover there. Yes, I work with the Alzheimer's Association. They're amazing people. Anybody out there who's got someone in your family going through Alzheimer's or any form of dementia, first thing you need to do, reach out to the Alzheimer's Association. It is free. They will give you a ton of advice and support. There are local chapters all across the country that can help you with the financial, medical, mental, psychological support aspects. So you can get people who come to your house. You can find out what people to help you with all the paperwork. Because, dude, there's a ton of freaking paperwork. It is intimidating. Every person who has dementia or Alzheimer's, they're going through that struggle. But everybody around them has to help them. That's a lot of collateral damage. The reality is those people can lose their jobs. They can lose their income. They have difficulty taking care of a grown person and their own kids. That's not easy. That causes a lot of strife. People can lose their houses over it. This is not okay. And there isn't a system by the government to help with that. So the Alzheimer's Association helps. Dude, does it help? Just call them. They will give you sanity and direction and give you a path that you can travel to find solutions and support. And people will give you a hug and help you get through it. So do that. Alzheimer's Association, Saturday, December 17th in Cleveland, Ohio at the Christmas Story House from 10 o'clock to 3 p.m. I will be there signing autographs, taking photos with people, all for free. If you can make a donation to the Alzheimer's Association, that would be wonderful. If you cannot, I totally understand. I grew up broke as a joke as well. If you can't make a donation, please just share the information with people who might need the help. Okay? And then on Sunday, December 18th, in Akron, Ohio, at the Highland Theater, there will be a free screening of A Christmas Story Christmas. This has been generously donated by Warner Brothers and HBO for us to utilize to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association. So the screening starts at 11 o'clock in the morning. I know it's a crazy time. I'm sorry. But because Avatar, The Way of the Water is coming out, we couldn't get any other time. So 11 o'clock in the morning, doors will open about 9:30, 10. I will be there. I will be signing autographs. I will be taking photos with people. I'll be talking, kissing babies, whatever. And then you get to see the movie for free. Again, it is all free. If you have the opportunity to donate to raise money for Alzheimer's, please do. If you can't, share the information. All of this is made possible by my oldest friend, Julius Amorgis. He owns a law firm out here called Amorgis and Associates, and he has been sponsoring this. This is the second year. I'm not Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, so I'm not a millionaire. And stuff costs money. Flying across the country, eating food, printing out all the stuff, getting the signage, getting the press, so I get to meet lovely people like you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well, thank you, but you understand it takes a team. You've talked to
village.
James,
yes,
it does. You talk to James Weir or Dustin over at Anderson Group PR, and that's their job. So it takes a lot of people to get this going to create something for free. Usually people do it for a profit, but none of this would be able to happen if it weren't for Amorgis and Associates and my oldest friend, whose kitchen I am in, and whose annoying bird that is, Julius's annoying bird, and Amorgis and Associates. So please go to amorgis.com. Real help for real people. So that's what we're doing. That's everything that we're doing.
And I love that the bird is safe. I just want to say that the bird is safe. And
what would I do to a bird? I mean, come on. It's a little bird. You just close the door. There's no violence.
I just heard a little chink. I didn't know if it was the door going clap or if the door was squishing the bird.
This isn't like Dumb and Dumber. I'm not ripping the heads off of birds here.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to Zach and not Scott. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Wow.
I'm teasing. Well, maybe it saw the hat and thought it was a nest. Just turn it over. That's what he was saying. I just want to be in the nest. Just want to be in the nest. Come on.
I just walk up to the bird and I'm like, dude, you're next. I'll wear you on my head.
I got to remember that when my cats get into everything.
Do your cats climb your tree behind you?
Oh my gosh, yes. I had to get, and it's so bougie. There's this thing called a tree collar that you put at the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to get a really thick, heavy metal one because every year they would topple it over. So as soon as I put that collar up, it was like magic. They would not climb the tree, scale the tree, or anything. So I'm like, I wonder if I could have like a collar around certain things for the whole year so they just stay off of it.
My favorite, because I've got two beautiful cats. They're calico Maine Coons, and they're lovely sisters. They're beautiful, and they're little jackasses as well.
Mine too.
Yeah, and there's something called a scat mat, which is you can get on Amazon. It is a thin plastic mat that you put some batteries in, and it runs. Have you ever done this with a 9-volt battery where you stick it on your tongue and you kind of go like that, right? Right? You know that?
So, I grew up around all guys, so yeah. I played war. I played football, and I've electrocuted myself a couple of times.
But you're fine. So the scat mat, you put the batteries in it, and you can dial it up or dial it down. It's got like 3 settings. Just put it on setting number 1. Put it where the cat's going to go. Don't let the cat see you put it there, because the cat will walk up, put their paws on it, get that little tingly feeling, and jump about 6 feet in the air backwards, and it is comedy gold. And then they never go near it again. Because our cats, my wife's and my cats, used to like come to the bedroom door and scratch, and I'm like, dude, I will. And then you open the door, and they're gone, right? I'm like, if I catch you, I want to, I want to turn you into a hat,
Exactly.
But with that scat mat, they just sit beyond it waiting. And I don't get paid for this. Scat Mat, good for the pet, healthy, and great comedy. And you will enjoy your animal much more.
Well, see, that's perfect because, I told you at the beginning, I like repurposing content. I also do a thing with rescue animals called Wet Nose Wednesday. So I will go see if the Scat Bat people can sponsor it for me. Do a couple videos. That'd be kind of fun.
And it's great because then you're never upset. The animal doesn't see you getting upset at it. It just it gets Pavlovian training not to do something. And you get to constantly be like, hey, buddy, how's it going? And then they're not running away from you. I love it. It's psychological.
I would never be that evil to you.
Twirl the mustache. Yeah.
Well, you said your cats have Maine Coon because they're really long hair. I have rag dolls that were rescues that I featured on our Wet Nose Wednesday episodes to find them a home. I'm the idiot that found the home for them. So they ended up being part of and they're Pony Boy and Johnny. So they were all named after outsider characters.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, but Pony Boy and Johnny, sometimes I just want to show them the actual outsiders and say, you see what happens?
Yeah.
That's so evil. I'm going to have to cut that one out. Anyway, so you've got all this stuff coming up. And let me ask you, I'm going to have that on the screen. I'll pop up some of the videos. I'm going to see if I can find those early commercials of you to pop up on here as well, because people need to see babyface Zack, babyface. So anyway, once again, remind them how they can get in touch with you.
Saturday, December 17th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on Sunday, December 18th in Akron, Ohio at the Highland Theater. The screening starts at 11 a.m. Both events are 100% free.
Thank you. So we can catch the new film, A Christmas Story Christmas, on HBO Max, which is fantastic. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Or if you're going to be around Akron on Sunday, I know where you can watch it among family and friends for free. And of course, go out and support Zack as well as the Alzheimer's Association. But you can also see the original because stations run it 24 hours in loop this time of the year. And if you've never seen the film, number one, what's wrong with you? You've got to see the original.
Now HBO Max has the original Christmas Story and A Christmas Story Christmas streaming right beside each other. So you can do a double feature.
Thank you so much. And how can they find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram under Total Zack Ward. That's TOTALZACKWARD.
Thank you so much, Zack. I appreciate it. I know you have other people to talk to and so much to do this weekend. Thank you so much. Have a blessed holiday season. We appreciate you being on here. You can be a guest diva anytime.
I'm honored. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
An Odyssey station.